Hi, everybody. Those who are watching and listening, welcome back to my show Experiences with Anish. So today I have a special guest, I would say, because I've been trying to get Shane for maybe I would say nearly a month or so, but due to a lot of different circumstances, I couldn't get her on show. But finally, I get to meet her. And first of all, thank you so much for accepting invitation, even though you have a very busy schedule. Like I've been following your LinkedIn for so long now, so I know exactly what you're going like all the posts what you're putting out, right? All the updates. I know you're being busy, but again, thank you so much for taking the time out. Like, how do you feel?
Thank you for having me. No, I'm feel honored for getting the invitation, and yeah, I'm excited to start a conversation.
Awesome, awesome. And by the way, Shane is like completely into AI, and she's the co-founder of LaunchLemonade. We're going to be talking a lot about what her business does and all those things. But today is going to be like completely, focused, or like we're going to dive deep into AI, like as she's like completely into AI, right? So with that, let's get straight into it, Shane. I'm from a non-technical perspective. I mean, like I'm from a non-technical background. Okay, so after I started, understanding about this Chat GPT or whole this AI thing, right? Like I thought like I want to do something in this AI space as well. But I've been thinking like I had this misconception that I'm from a non-technical background. Like, what can I do with it? So that was my misconception. But later on, I was able to kind of figure out like, oh, even if I'm from a non-technical background, like I can still do things using AI tools and those things, right? So now my first question to you is that how can one navigate the AI space from a technical and non-technical perspective? Meaning, like, let's say they have like two different background. Okay, so one is going to be from technical, the other one is going to be like a non-technical. So how do you think they can navigate this AI space?
Let's start with non-technical. So,
Sure.
in a lot of experiences and the applications that we use,
Mm-hmm.
there is already some sort of customization that's built in with these applications, whether it's Spotify, Netflix. Things are being recommended based on algorithms. Your social media feed, it's and having an understanding of how your data is collected and used and how these companies are making assumptions on your preferences and your likes.
Mm-hmm.
It is very important to understand how these things work and to
Okay.
be mindful and critical about the experiences. So as a non-technical user, how to get started is just one, acknowledging that and realizing that AI is everywhere, and
Mm-hmm.
two, understanding about how your data and the world's data is being used to build this technology. Once you have that understanding, you can then start experimenting on free um, uh, applications like ChatGPT and start testing it out based on your subject matter expertise and your tasks and your work or what you do at school. See how you can collaborate with it and
Mm-hmm.
then progress on that learning. The next step to that is starting to build your own applications or your own solutions. It's now
True.
easier than ever once you understand
Mm-hmm.
how it works. Just start building on no code or low code applications like LaunchLemonade and see how you can either monetize from it or scale your productivity by building your own custom tools. Now, as a technical person, I think what I've worked in product delivery, working within highly technical teams as well. But there's a difference between being technical and being technical with AI experience. So you might be a software
Okay.
developer, or you might have a lot of experience in building mobile apps. But that doesn't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily mean that you understand how generative AI works or how
True.
LLMs are built. So you
True.
still have to go through the same things that a non-technical person does, which is learn what Gen AI is, what LLMs are, and how these things are built.
Okay, understood. Got it. So it's that, first, like we need to understand what are the things that's have been actually happening thus far, like as you've said, YouTube algorithms, Spotify, recommendations, all these things. So like once we understand how this data has been collected and been trained on, then maybe you'll have a basic foundation of like how this works. And after that, like as you said, like we have a lot of, I think one thing what I really love about all these tools is that they really want us to use it, meaning they give this free version, be it ChatGPT, be it Claude, be it Google Gemini. Like you take any of the best tools out there, right? They give you this free option so that you can give it a try and see like how it works, and you get to learn a lot from those free version. And then maybe if you want, you can just get into this higher level. Okay, so that was good. Now coming back to again AI skills, right? Now let's say I again like since I'm from a non-technical background, like I've been learning few of the CI skills. Okay, say for example fine tuning a model, but I'm not trying to do this fine tuning using code, but I'm just trying to do it using non-code those things. Okay, now how can someone with this AI skills, like how can they monetize it? Because this is not something like, let's say you're a content creator and you wanted to monetize your skills, you have brand partnerships, you have, AdSense, those things, right? So like in this generative AI space, like, everybody, as you said, like, it has become much more easier for most people to get into the space and start building applications. So like, how do you think one can actually get into this AI space with their skills and start monetizing their skill?
In many ways. So if you're a content creator and let's say
Mm-hmm.
you are an agency,
Mm-hmm.
before you had 5 clients service per month, but now you might want to extend
Okay.
your capacity to times 3 because AI is allowing you to be more productive. Or you could also turn your service or subject matter expertise into AI tools that your customers can use. And instead of having higher ticket, like kind of service and having to work on each client personally, you could just get them to use an application that you build a SaaS out of your subject matter expertise,
So is
monetize
that
that way.
okay? So it's not, like one-stop solution. It's like, you have a numerous opportunities wherein you can just get diversified and start monetizing is what you're, implying, right?
Yeah, so right now that's what you can do. You can diversify your revenue stream. You can, for example, we have coaches, business
Mm-hmm.
coaches who are building their own AI solutions, and instead of talking to their clients all the time or like having set conversations, their clients are just using their AI applications
Okay,
and they're
understood.
monetizing
Got it.
from that.
Yeah, sure. And can you just give a brief about like how did you actually get into, AI, and like how did you build your launch laminate? And then maybe I can just ask you like what is it all about launch laminate and like how does it help businesses? Okay. But before that, I want to get a gist about like how did you actually get into it?
So I started my career in digital transformation where I would go in a business and start moving their investments from traditional marketing to online marketing. So I started like working on websites, mobile apps, started owning CRM systems, CSM systems. And then when I worked
Okay.
for a financial institution, I then
Mm-hmm.
naturally progressed into more of a product delivery role where I landed projects that worked on a lot of data and
Mm-hmm.
worked on chatbots, for example, in 2018. And that's
Oh,
kind of like it's of it realistically, technically, that was my second AI project, but it was like the biggest AI project that I had at that point. And that really changed how I understood how data can be used to provide custom experiences. And I worked on a lot of data driven projects around that within the
mm-hmm.
finance and financial fintech space. I worked with a team of data engineers, data scientists to deliver custom experiences in decisioning and growth, be it fraud, credit, affordability. And that's how I got into just understanding machine learning, AI, NLP.
Okay, understood. And were you already, I mean, like, did you have this technical background right from the start, or like, have you learned it along the way?
I've learned it along the way with the projects that I have. So when you're a product
Wow.
manager back then, there was no AI expert. Like
Mm-hmm.
AI experts in the team didn't exist up until last year. So if you were a
Understood.
product manager in teams, you had the projects, like you would get the projects. You just work with data analysts and data scientists. I'm a little technical in terms of I understand solutions architecture quite well. So like I work with a
Mm-hmm.
lot of solutions architects, working on the infrastructure of the products that I've been working on. But I like no one had, AI experience or no one was an AI expert in any business
Understood.
before, unless you were like an AI business, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my experience was just learned.
Okay, understood. Got it. Now, coming back to your actual business, which is Launch Lemonade, right? Like, what is it all about, and like, how does it help individuals or businesses? Because I've gone through your website, but I couldn't get exact. Like, I wouldn't say it's not a bigger understanding. Like, I didn't get the chance for me to, use your application, right? So, like, so people who are listening, like, what is it all about that you're building Launch Lemonade?
Why didn't you? You could try it for free.
I mean, like I've had the chance, but again, like I couldn't get deep into it, like as I've been, doing with other tools out there. I have a lot of tools. One thing what I do is like after I go through any application that I come across, right? So what I do is I try to go through their product. Like I'll have a list in my Notion database, okay, that I'll think that okay, I have to go through this product and see where and all it's getting, helping me a lot. So in that list, like I have a lot of tools already that's been built, so which is why I couldn't get the exact time for me to get into it. So that is the reason, okay. And by the way, it's there in my list. I would say not just because you're in Measure, I'm not saying this, but it is there in my Notion list that I've been thinking that I should check it out.
So currently, the problem that I'm seeing is that people, especially non-technical businesses and entrepreneurs, are
Mm-hmm.
feeling overwhelmed. The market saturated with so many AI tools, and
True.
either you're stuck or you're inhibited from trying things out because it's overwhelming. And subscription rates, you can't afford all of the subscription rates to understand all of the LLMs or the
True.
premium
Very true.
offerings of these products. So what we've done, and also if you want to fine tune a model, you need to be technical, right? So
True.
what
If you
we've
really
done
wanted to get
is we've
like I mean like yeah, if you want to really get the best results out there, then you have to go with the coding part. It's not just you can use some random tool to just do a fine tune and get the best result, right?
I disagree in some ways.
Okay.
Um, but let me finish my answer
Sure.
first.
Mm-hmm.
So what we've done then with LaunchLemonade is we've aggregated language models in. We have 18 language models from Claude 3.5, Sonnet,
Okay.
ChatGPT, Llama, Cohere, Mistral, Gemini, Perplexity. We've aggregated these language models, and our subscribers are able to get access to these language models all in one place, in one subscription.
One plus.
So you can build your own custom tools, add your knowledge, use our search function. We are quite secure as well from prompt injections. So
Mm-hmm.
we're allowing our users to experiment, to build, to understand, and have access to these all LLMs in one place.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the reason why I disagree, and it's monetizable as well. So you could white label a business page similar to how you would white label a Squarespace page or
Understood.
a WordPress. And to answer your question, fine tuning a model involves a lot of compute, a lot of time, and it can be complex depending on what you're fine tuning it for. Now, if you're just going to build some AI that doesn't need fine tuning, that doesn't need that heavy compute. For example, you want to turn your PDF into an AI tool, or you want to just build a wrapper around GPT-4 that doesn't need fine tuning. It's not complex. Why would you want to
Hmm.
waste all of that computational power if you just want to, for example, create content for marketing? You don't need heavy computational for that. You can use the existing APIs, right?
True.
So I disagree with have if for of having to fine tune for like the best use case. I would even say that 80% of the use cases you don't have to fine tune. You just have to build knowledge and kind of like in a no code way, use the API, fine tune it that way. You don't have to do like the hard fine tuning, in my opinion. But
Mm-hmm.
that's because of the heavy computational cost of having to actually fine tune models.
Okay.
And
Understood.
just to add, if you're going to fine tune a model, once a new model comes out, whatever you fine tune will deprecate. It's like, oh, you've spent all that time and that money fine tuning a model, and then GPT comes out with a new model, and you're like, yep, goodbye, right?
Very true. Very true. And in fact, even recently, like I did a project for myself. Okay, like what I did is I've used this tool called Relevance AI, where I built a LinkedIn content generator. Right. So what I did is instead of using the pre-built AI model, like I fine-tuned my model using Google AI Studio. So that was kind of easier to do. So what I did is I collected like around 50, I would say 50 of my LinkedIn post. I've turned it into a data set, which I then uploaded into Google AI Studio, and then like I was able to fine-tune it, like as you said. So it's that based on the use cases, if it's going to be like a really low level use case, as you've said, turning a PDF into kind of summarizing those things. So you, as you're saying, like we don't require much of this computing, and like we don't even require fine tuning in that place, right? In those use cases.
Yeah, you don't have, so that isn't, yeah, like you don't have to fine tune a model, like actually code it. You don't, if it's a if it's something that existing LLMs can do with a little bit of knowledge and a little bit of prompting, just use that. Like, you don't need to put a lot of effort in some of these ideas. And even though they are very useful, you just have to weigh, okay, do I actually need to spend all this time and money actually fine tuning a model that could just, like, if the next GPT comes out, it'll just crush it. Like, it'll be better anyway.
Very true, very true. Next is, since you've been in this, product development space, and like since you're also a founder now of your own product, right? How are you actually doing the marketing? Like, how are you actually getting people into it? Because if you have seen now, there are, like as you said, there are like numerous tools that's been coming out. Everybody are claiming it to be an AI powered tool, and we have a lot of SaaS product that's been in the market, right? So like in this so much competitive space, like how are you actually doing your marketing part, and like how are you bringing in people?
Content and community building. So I do free master classes every week. I
Okay.
produce a lot of content on LinkedIn specifically. I do TikTok as well.
hmm
And I am part of many communities, and I'm building a community as well.
Okay. So it's like your primary focus is like an organic social media content, to put it in a simple term,
Correct.
towards building
Correct.
a good community. Okay. Understood. Got it. And uh okay. So like how was your now how was LinkedIn being like really helping? Because I think this was your previous post that I've just seen that you talked about your 300 like milestone that you wanted to do, right? But LinkedIn kind of didn't favor it. But yeah, so like how has your LinkedIn journey been thus far? Like, do you think LinkedIn is kind of helping? Because I have had this problem. Suddenly, like, at times I used to get very good results on LinkedIn, but at times, like, there's like no results at all. Like, I'm kind of, confused on like how this
Yeah.
algorithm works. So, like, how is it has been for you, the journey, LinkedIn?
So it's not just LinkedIn, actually. To answer your question, to convert
Mm-hmm.
customers, you kind of have building a growth flywheel. Now
Okay.
you have top of the funnel, and it goes down to conversion and loyalty, right? So
True.
in that growth flywheel, you have your social channels, your content building as like part of that flywheel. So a customer might see you on LinkedIn and then connects and then messages you, "Hey Shan, I saw your post." And then once we have built that relationship, I might invite them to my community, which is on WhatsApp, or I might invite them to my Luma page where I do my free master classes. Once they're in there, they're going to get
Mm-hmm.
my emails probably from Luma or something. And
Okay.
then over time, they keep seeing me on LinkedIn, and then they might see me on TikTok. So I now have an ecosystem where my audience are seeing me everywhere, building that trust and that relationship. And then hopefully, eventually, and as I've seen, they convert.
Okay. So it's not just relying on just one platform and hoping that they convert into and become your customer, right? It's like on the whole, it's an ecosystem kind of thing.
It's about relationship building. Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
understood. Got it. And now, I want to and ask the latest project that you've built, your co-host, which was an AI thing, right? So can you just give a brief about like what was it all about?
So on Launch Lemonade, I'm very passionate about
Okay.
um, audio AI. So
Mm-hmm.
when ChatGPT came out with audio, I was like, I already started pushing content on YouTube bit by bit, where I would interview ChatGPT, and I really
Okay.
wanted it on Launch Lemonade. So we eventually have it now on Launch Lemonade. And I was like, the first thing that I'm going to build is a podcast co-host. Actually, an influencer, Kyle Bomber. We were talking about this. I was like, imagine if there was a podcast co-host or something. So I built it. And then that was it. I just built it on Launch Lemonade. I designed the instructions are simple. It already
Mm-hmm.
has my knowledge because I've got my core memory set in my account. So we have a core memory, but basically, what core memory is similar to ChatGPT's is has like your log memory that you can
Mm-hmm.
edit, delete, and then with a simple instruction, when I created that podcast co-host, I just said your Cien Solon's podcast co-host. Your podcast name is I think it was called Machine and Me or Shen and AI.
Okay.
And you're gonna greet Shen, and then after that you're gonna ask her thought-provoking questions. And then you just build on that instruction, test it, iterate it, and that's how I got it.
Good. maybe I think I should give it a try on like building it on maybe your platform. Okay. And by the way, do you have any sort of partnership in your platform? Like if you take any of the tools, right, like they'll have partner section wherein they this content creators and influencer, they create a lot of content about a specific product. Say for example, Launch Lemonade, or be it Relevancy, I LinkedIn. We have a lot of these tools. So like, is there any kind of partnership in your platform that they're gonna be get monetized for that?
Currently, we don't have any. We have many community partners here in London who are
Okay.
kind of like doing master classes for us. I do master classes for their communities.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't have, and we have affiliates as well. So on the platform, if you are a subscriber, you have your own affiliate link if you refer us. But we don't have other platforms that are kind of like partners officially. We have um, there are services that we have used, but no official partner as
Partner.
such.
Okay, got it. Now, you've talked about your product. Like as you said, you've tried to build a solution where you have all these AI tools in like given in like one space, like one ecosystem, right? So now, does this mean that you're not at all like making use of like any other tools out there, or like you also experiment with a lot of other AI tools? Do you also do a paid version and then you kind of understand like how the product works and then try to make something better in your platform, or like how does it work out?
Absolutely. So, how we optimize our products, one is by my community. So, in WhatsApp, I have 200 entrepreneurs and members from mostly from the
Well,
UK, US,
mm-hmm.
um, in who, and they're telling us every day, what the issues are or if they've got ideas, and that's how we've been optimizing our product. And of course, I have to try the different apps. I have to understand how they work to be able to see as well how we can improve our own product.
Okay, so that you also give it a try. And is there any specific tool stack that you use in your company right now? Like, say, for example, for managing your operations, for automations, for these things. Like, is there? Do you have any sort of tool stack? Because now, when you again, like when you take a small business, right? Like with this numerous tools out there in the market, it's becoming a bit difficult for them to get the right tool stack. So, is there any tool stack that your business use, and is there anything that you want to add to that?
So our platform is a builder platform. So if you
Okay,
go on to launch something, you build your own tools. If it's a CRM tool, if it's a content
okay,
tool, if it's an analytical tool, you build your own. We hosted a hackathon on Tuesday. It was sponsored by a venture studio called Inaugural AI and Google Cloud. And over, I think there were about 50 people in there, used Launch Lemonade to build a prototype or a functioning product within 2 hours. It's the world's shortest hackathon. And after the end of 2 hours, 10 pitches were made with demos, from
no,
creating a landing page at the back of a prompt to building a CRM mechanism where you customize responses based on account information done. Even like a sales coach or a salesperson using voice AI, and you could call it. There were so many cool things that people built. So you can
wow.
build your own custom solutions. It's like the Canva for AI applications or WordPress. You have an idea, you have a problem, you come to the platform, you build it for yourself.
Okay. So I think, like
Quickly,
after
just to
yeah,
add to
please.
that, we have our own API key, and we have Zapier. We're on Zapier as well, so you could connect different applications, build your own workflows.
Understood. I'm, like after hearing so much from you, like I have decided to build one such product. I'm gonna document it on my YouTube channel. So very soon, I know I'm planning to do it. Like I have decided, like I've written the script down for a. I've told you, like I've created an AI tool using the relevance AI for my LinkedIn content generation. So similar to that, like I'm also planning to do first launch run, because I thought it was, a one place for you to just, interact with AI models. I didn't know that it had so much more flexibility, and as you said, it's a builder's platform rather than just usage. more of a builder's platform, right? So like, this is something that I want to tell to my audience as well. So I'm gonna be going to the platform right after this. So I'll put it in my top priority. I'll try to build one solution which I think is needed, because what I do is like I try to have as much use cases as possible, and I try to build it with less, I would say, not of much of a resource, and like as low cost as possible. Because again, my focus here is to help small businesses. So when it comes to small businesses, it's not viable for everybody to go use any platform that's high in cost, right? So I'll try to do that. So in that case, I'm gonna build something and I'll put it on my YouTube.
Absolutely, you can build your first tool for free. You have 25 credits, but building is free. Until you finish your 25 credits, then you won't be able to
Sure,
use it.
no
But
issues
yeah, just try to
for
build
testing it
one.
out.
We also have,
Exactly.
yeah, just test it out.
Yeah, and you were telling something.
I can't hear. Oh,
uh, you were telling me
I
something, right?
can't
You was
hear
going.
you.
Hello.
Okay, you're back.
I'm sorry. I mean, you were going to tell something, right?
Yeah, no, just test it. Yeah, test it.
Okay, awesome.
And let me know. I'd love to hear your feedback as well.
Sure,
Remember, we're a young company. We just started in January, so any feedback is great help for us.
sure. And since we both are connected on LinkedIn, I would love to share my feedback as well with you. So I've specifically asked this partnership because I mean, like I thought, like if we could build a lot of use cases in your platform, maybe if there's any chance for us to become these partners, that, right? So which is where I wanted to ask that. So is there any kind
Yeah.
of roadmap? Do you have any sort of plans to integrate this partnership into your platform?
We don't have any partnerships in the roadmap. We have marketplace on the roadmap. But yeah, no partnerships for now. We're a
Okay,
very cheap platform, so if like, I think, to think about partnerships, it has to add value to the partner as well. But right now, it's a very accessible. We're focused on giving the best value. So if we do think about that, it'll have to be something that'll be beneficial for the other party as well.
understood. Got it. So guys, I think with that we've come to the end of our session. So is there anything else that you want to add here, Shane?
No, I think, like, if you're unsure about AI, join my free master classes. You just have to watch. It's free. Um, and there's so many other people in the space as well that you can follow, like Sabrina Ramanov, Kyle Bomber, and yeah, just the world is your AI stir.
Understood. Got it. So guys, if you have been here thus far, like thank you so much for watching. And I'll be linking down all the resources of Shane right in my description. Like you can just connect with her on LinkedIn. You can like as you said, maybe you can just try her free masterclass and get to know how AI things are working so that you will understand. And also like I'll give the description of her platform, all those things right in my description.